women around 35, and it's not a diagnosable condition. It's a transition. Just like puberty, it is really our reverse puberty. So it's a really long period of time. And I think that what's most important that women know, there are three main things happening in the body during this phase for us to kind of achieve going from our high fertile years to menopause, where we're no longer fertile. One is that, like, really the role of our hormones, our main sex hormones, is being passed from our ovaries to our adrenals, which are our stress managers, and they're already full and busy. So if they're already full and busy intact, like, the state of our adrenals as this transition happens is really going to determine, okay, how much can our body handle and what kind of symptoms are coming out and what other dysfunction might get created from that. Number two, of course, the amount of hormones are decreasing over time. And I think one of the most powerful things I learned is that specifically estrogen and progesterone, which are big key players in perimenopause, they are symbiotic in nature, which means if there's not enough of one, there's too much of the other. And this is the balance that we often try to maintain so the body's not working to bring us in balance. So as it's making this transition, we really want to keep them into balance. But it's like anything, like when you're moving cross country or getting married or getting divorced or having a baby or starting a new job, transition is precarious, right? It's like walking on a bridge that's swinging a little, like it's more dangerous or more risky, and there's more room for error. So as this transition happens, the balance is very delicate. And any kind of stress, specifically in the life, hidden or otherwise, so from how we're eating, how our blood sugar is, as you know, to stress that we're experiencing in our world, can really specifically suppress our progesterone, because cortisol and progesterone fight for the same receptors. So that balance gets thrown off very easily for many of us. But if we can maintain balance, then and the transition happens, then we won't see as many symptoms. And then the third one, which I actually think is one of the probably the most important and least talked about, is what happens in our brain. So these specific hormones, the changing of them, the shifting of them, the transitioning of them, the amounts of them really impact the hippocampus and amygdala in our brain, which are our memory encoders and retrievers. And what happens is we start to become much more aware of things that bothered us in the past that maybe we didn't deal with, of things that are bothering us now that maybe we were able to stuff under the rug, of of any sensitivity kind of in our body. So we become a lot more sensitive and aware. And I think that can feel, Shanna, like, oh, this sucks, like I'm getting older, oh, this is so hard, I'm so angry, I'm so frustrated. But I think what's so powerful around it is recognizing that from puberty until perimenopause, the beginning of it, we have been subconsciously driven to reproduce. Estrogen comes every single month and they're like rose-colored glasses, right? To like come on in and make us much more amenable so that we want to reproduce, make us more nurturing so that our children survive. And those are, of course, beautiful, necessary things, but that is starting to go away. And what we're getting is an opportunity to recognize what really bothers us and what doesn't, and what we really want and how to handle it. So I think what's so important for women to understand is that, like, perimenopause doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. To really look at, like, what is not serving me, that maybe youth was a bit forgiving around, that now I have the opportunity to change so that I can thrive for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years of my life. So those are the big things that I think are going on. And I really want women to understand the value of the opportunity here. It's not really the gift we want, but it's the gift we need.
Yeah, it's really beautifully explained.